Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is ExperiencePoints, and we are back with another. Well, we're actually doing something a little bit different. This is the Moscow Offensive, which is a scenario found in the scenario menu in the Black Turn. So, as you can see, brilliant victory here. And what it is, well, this is a hypothetical. The Germans are at the gate of Moscow, but they are under strength and exhausted. Stalin orders an offensive to push the Germans away from the approaches to Moscow. I don't know why, but Stalin sounds like it'd be a great name of pork. Like Stalin pork. Nice and crispy. Yeah. So, what can we do? Well, we can go to the start. We're just going to have a quick look at what we did here. Now, this was my second attempt at this, so the first attempt I couldn't take all the objectives, specifically this one, but this time there's no worries. The main things you need to know is Moscow is the center point. You lose that, you're in serious trouble because of supply. You have two supply sources north and south, actually three there. Down here, the enemy has 4 all on the roads. Your objectives, quite reasonable, 6665 or 5666. So, let's just get to it. Again, Soviet tactics, which are isolate, starve, and destroy. So, what I wanted to do here was make my attempt for the supply source. I want to cut off all this. So, it's an expensive thing to do, but I was just going to push it, hoping I would have got suppression, but we got nothing there. The tactic that really won the day for me is that even though there's a considerably low number of forces, this is winnable because I can isolate pretty much all of these units very quickly, as you're going to see. As it's very much a Soviet tactic here. There doesn't feel like much of a change. Units are also considerably weaker than the enemies, with most units just having a 2-2 compared to a 4-3. Specialist steps are what's gonna give you a punch for suppression. So we have a T-34, for example, special steps, and we have our Kazusa, or whatever that is, artillery. Sorry, our rockets, which also provide attack and defense bonuses. So what do we want? We want to push through our fast-traveling units. We want to surround the enemy here. We want to capture river points. We want to drive these units out this way to cut off this area. So we needed to take it, putting units on this area because their supply, as you'll see, is 8s and 10s. It's important to capture this objective on time, that you actually start to make your way inland. You can't be battling for this around turn 4. You have to have made concerted steps. The river is a great protection and guide, keeping your flank secure, but it's also means if they jump it, you can't really respond to that, but they generally won't. So down here we've got a nice covering and we've made some punches. It's unlikely that they'll push through, but then again they may. So if I could have covered that, it would have been ideal, but then again I didn't want to sacrifice horsemen to make my my strategy work here. So I'm just trying to create breach points here. As you see, I'm creating one here. I'm trying to create one on the road here. Just to take particular note, the forest. You want to sort of avoid that because it gives a considerable defensive bonus. So we're going to attempt to punch through where there is no forest. And you do get a lot of reinforcements in this, particularly 2 actual cavalry units which have good special steps attached to them, but you do get reinforced infantry parts, and considering that there is only 1 tank in this map, and that tank is quite underwhelming, infantry are a big key, and certainly reinforcing the key units is going to be your strategy to victory. Over here I am trying to just get a nice stronghold, but I also want to pull off their forces and create a little bit of threat and pressure by coming down this way here. As you can see, no forest, and quite easy to deal with. If you're going to punch, you need to have the numbers to suppress, and then you need to have the numbers to kill. As you see here, I was able to suppress that unit, and then I was able to always kill off 1 unit part. Unfortunately, I couldn't completely kill him. Certainly making sure artillery is set up next to your step. Where your target for your next turn is important. Special steps need to be adjacent, they can't be moved. when they're artillery. As you see here, I'm trying to expand the area to really shut these guys out. They'll be out of supply for one turn. I did not attempt to cut off road supplies because of these German security units. It's completely pointless. They will come off their targets, and because they're not objectives, and they will just get rid of your partisan ability. So you're best to use it effectively in combination with other forces, so where a unit can come in here, he won't suddenly close up all this. Okay, so the German troops are trying to make a conservative effort towards my supply. We also made a considerable blunder because now I'm going to cut them off and surround them. Given that they can't attack next turn, they're going to be very easy pickings for me. Okay, we do have a relatively good unit here with the T-34. As long as we keep him strong, he should be able to pack punch and at least destroy a unit part of any of their even Panzer forces, while only taking 1 or 2 parts himself worth of damage. So, other things to note, there aren't actually full strength forces here, so you're not taking anything that is considerably intense. Most of them are 4 parts instead of 7 or 8 if they had a specialist step, so the worst you're going to come up here is a 5, which has a specialist step attached to it, which isn't as considerable as a threat. There's also some quite heroic parts, like as you see here, he wasn't annihilated. These units are holding their own, so there's no over concern here. And in some cases, look, he bashed him back. He Spartaned him, which was quite nice. Being Spartaned, you retreat, but you still do considerable damage. Maybe we should make that a word. Beyond that, the enemy is just going to try to reform their lines, and definitely hold their weaker units towards their objectives. But no issues here. Over here, I just want to have my units at least stopping them from branching through. They're not going to be able to punch the forest, so I'm not overly worried there. I'm just going to use weak units and make a real effort just to contain and hold, and try to breach in. I do not want them coming back. If they do, my efforts are lost, because this is a considerable part of their army. It's their entire southern forces. So we just want to make sure that they can't do anything. And if I have a choice of attacking here, I'm going to get rid of these enforced units. Okay, so right here we have now cut off their supply completely. As you see, bridge is held, and this is only a supply 1 on the river for them. So we definitely want to encircle, we want to stop them from getting to the river, we want to stop these guys from reconnecting, or particularly destroying our supply. If we do look, we are supplied on here, so this isn't a big threat if you lose it, but it's a threat if they start coming up here. Which is mostly why these guys are here. Okay, we just crossed over, and we now have our bridgehead. Over here we're trying to make one here, and we should get a 3 suppression here, which means I'm going to put my weaker unit to attack first, so he withdraws, and I can put my best foot forward. As you see, he ran out of supply, he ran out of movement steps, even only going 2 steps because of the area's zone of control. Okay, reinforcing artillery units in our weakest points, and particularly our strongest points, which are our T-34 special steps, as well as our cavalry units. Cavalry is very effective, as you can see, 2-2s. They also have the longer distance with a 5-2 step as opposed to a 3-2, so they have a 7 over a 5 distance advantage when they convert their attack points into movement points. And here we're just trying to dedicate our forces, keeping it aligned so we don't get rushed. At the same point, we don't want to get Zerg rushed, or anything like that, but we want to make concerted efforts to isolate forces and make their approach to the southern objective and into the south more difficult, at the same time as creating a clear path for our forces to take this objective. Okay, so over here we had a nice result. We just need to capitalize on it, which hopefully we were able to do. We couldn't totally capitalize on it, but we at least gave them something to think about there. It's always good to attack with artillery special steps first because they pack the greatest punch. There you go, and making sure that we're covered here. Now that was scary because he was particularly weak, but there wasn't much that they could really do about that. If you notice, I do sort of cover myself here because even if he attacks and kills this unit and pulls him out, this unit can only go here. So there's no actual way that I can capitalize on that weak defense there. I'm also making considerable effort to punch through these armored units because I want to get down into here. I'm not worried about these units being cut off. They can attack next turn and regroup anyway. So what are we doing? Well, we are trying to reconnect with our forces. Unfortunately, we couldn't do enough punch, so I do pull them back anyway. I don't know if that was the best step, but it certainly was. Okay, I feel this option here was not wise, because now I'm going to take his actual supply source, which is going to be distinctively more difficult for him to recover by. As you see, these units cannot attack, only these 4 can. Sorry, 4 here and the 2 in the deep south. So they are trying to make some sort of effort here to punch through, but it's not particularly worrying. They'll try to retreat and regroup here. But again, we're going to have no real issues. It's only going to turn 3 next turn, and we're going to be able to get adjacent to this southern objective, adjacent to this southern objective, and we are going to be able to really hammer in after the next turn as well into these forces, and do a considerable amount of damage, because they'll be completely suppressed through lack of resources. Okay, so we're turn 3. Now we're just trying to clean up some of these units which can get to the river and resupply. I took their supply there, and I moved forward. Now he could have recaptured that, but next turn these units will be our supply anyway, so I could destroy him if he goes on the river. I do want my zone of control to be in this area anyway. If he moves again, I would just destroy him, so I'm not particularly worried. I do want to keep my line secure here, and do my best to isolate. So if I get rid of this guy, I can at least keep weak units here. So you don't want to reorganize all your units, you just want to feel out what's best for the situation. And when you don't have many units to begin with in this situation, keeping even your weaker, smaller units is best, because they're just a body, and if the enemy can't attack, it's as good as having an ISS special step, tank, full commander tank with a 6.5 attack. If you just got a 1-part unit with a 2.2, it's the same. So I moved this up here because I want to make sure we can't sort of slip around, making the zone of control a lot more hexagons there. Okay, you want to get rid of this armor unit and definitely capitalize by getting a lot closer to the objective. You see, I can destroy the unit in the south, and I can bring another unit up. We want to surround the objective as best we can. There's not much this unit can do. He can't attack next turn. If he crosses the river, I can destroy him without too much difficulties there. For the rest, there's not much here defending this road, so we can just really organize ourselves, and considering our supply is through these bridges, we have no real difficulties. Deciding how much to where to assign your forces from the north is just filling out the best tactics for the situation, and definitely reinforcing these sort of units. These ones seem to pack, Soviet motorized pack a bit of a punch, especially with their T-34 special steps. Okay, and not putting units like this in harm's way. If I stick him here, there's a chance he could be annihilated because he won't reinforce till next turn. So just covering yourself in these sort of situations as well. Okay, that was we're probably gonna, we retreated that unit because we're gonna lose it, and I wanted to reinforce the city just in case it did cause a breakthrough. At the same time, not giving up ground. So if I could put a unit here, I would like to, which I believe I would probably use this unit, which can still move, like we just did there, and it gives me the chance to do that up here. I did make a big mistake there because I overestimated my own force's strength. I shouldn't have done that. But at least it allowed me to destroy that armor. Perhaps I could have destroyed this unit instead, and then brought that cavalry unit over here. Okay, for the rest, it's a bit of a cleanup. Not too worried, they won't break through, and we'll see what damage we can do. I'm not sure. Oh, he did destroy it, and he got a promotion. It's quite nice. But that unit is very weak, although it's a very strong unit. Okay, I'm using my Partisan's ability just to extend my own turf. When you say if I was to cut the road, which I'm going to do very soon, I definitely want to stop him from using his resource on the road, because I won't be able to take this objective. So I'm going to Partisan say up here as opposed to down here. So just a silly mistake they made. Moving this guy up was not wise. He could have at least gone there or taken back his resources. So that was kind of silly. They're paper thin over here, and I have the resources to be able to destroy them without too much difficulty. But the units over here are, would you say, a crapshoot, shooting fish in a barrel. I'm so confident I'm starting to pull my heavier forces up to the next objective. So there is no worry at all, and right there I should be able to block off any sort of breakthrough. Then I will move these forces out. If they can't attack, any unit in the objective is good as having the best unit there. So here we go. You just get rid of that armor because it could be dangerous for extra run. Clean up these guys because I don't want to waste all these men over here. It means I probably could have reorganized some of these units, but I didn't really feel the need. I was more interested in stopping them from moving, though they couldn't move that much anyway. So perhaps reorganizing would have been a better use of, say, these two units up here. So again, I did make some mistakes. As you see here, I'm trying to partisan as far up the road as I can, because if I get 3 opportunities to, as you see now, that's an 8. So if I did it up here, it might, maybe using the forest it would have been effective, but it's not as effective as coming up here and saying a 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If, for example, if I did it over here, it would have been maybe a 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or a 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So maybe the same, because I could have shot out this way. But in blocking off supply, closer to the source, the better. It does the most good for you. So we've got a city in ruin situation, which destroyed the +3 defense bonus and allows us to at least get units next to this objective here. If not, we can always suppress and keep our suppression active because they can't resupply. But then again, we just destroyed the target as well. If not, if I couldn't destroy him, I would have tried to have snuck units somehow over here. Though I don't believe they could have resupplied from this road. It's a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, they would have been able to adjust, unfortunately. But it worked out well either way. So from here, I have weak units advancing, yes, but they're also place holding. They're wasting an attack. So what are we doing over here? Well, that was expensive, and I should have reinforced that unit, but we took the objective. There is threat from this SS motorized because it's 7.5. It's better than the other versions, which is 6.4s. It seems like the SS units have a slightly more powerful pack punch in their pack, as well as a defense bonus. So I am worried about this unit retaking this objective, but considering that the artillery specialist step will set up again next turn, I don't think that'd be a worry. Just realised how fast I'm talking in this because so much is happening so quick, and we want to keep this video moving. Again, attacking on the road just to really keep my options more open with movement, but at the same time I don't want to just give them a free run into Moscow. So I'm going to leave something open. I'm going to leave it open with the forest to traverse, or say example right here. Okay, reinforcing the most crucial units, which is generally units on the objective, and the ones that pack the most punch, which would be, say, this cavalry unit here. And here, this unit deserves honours because he got suppressed, but he fought back and he smashed their own counterattack. And then this is awesome. He destroyed the artillery, but he absolutely annihilated their assault. So that's like the Order of Stalin for you. Good on you, mate. Okay, so we reinforced 2 unit parts per turn, which isn't as good as 3, but it'll be enough. There shouldn't be any real threat. I would like to get rid of this unit, but that was expensive. I was hoping we would have destroyed him. But I do want to get next to the objective here. We only have 1 objective left, so let's make sure we can really make gains getting towards it. And over here, I'm just doing my best to suppress him. There's no danger from this unit, so if we can kill him, or at least completely suppress him, that's a good outcome. Okay, well we still have 1 more turn till we have to take this objective. So we're going to do our best to weaken it up. These were all 6 objectives, so I do have time. And I'm not particularly worried there. We can even sacrifice where we feel we can. Given that there are very limited things that they can do. Okay, if we can get right next to the objective, that'd be even better. But here's really where we're going to smash this one. We're going to bring up our units from the south, as we are really able to hold this city without any real issues. we're going to make use of these horsemen and this Soviet motorized, like that. And then we could, well, from here we just used attack points into movement points. As you see, we used our Parson's ability to really cut off, and we took a huge chunk there, which wasn't that necessary, but over here it was, because he can't be resupplied. I don't know if it could have been over this way, maybe, but this way we definitely say nope, and my 3-unit suppression is going to stick. Okay, put nice strong units in here, and make sure these units aren't all that effective, so that there's going to be no threat to this city. Because I don't think I would have had the resources to be able to take that back if I lost that. Okay, clean up down here. Even if I reorganize, these units are no effect. But again, I like to keep a nice clean map, and keep units moving forward, as if doing more turns. So you'll probably see me reorganize some of these units. There we go. We put any unit in place there because it's just something to hold. It means these units can't be attacked. As we see, reorganizing units in the south, putting a unit on the objective just because we can, and bringing other units up just in case something happens, which is unlikely. The enemy really has no options here, except retreat. Oh, they attacked one unit. Okay, just to start with airstriking, because we have it. Oh, look at that, full suppression. And we're going to do it again, because why not? I mean, sometimes you can actually damage a unit and destroy it, but we just did it then. And our infantry comes in, and we get the sound of victory. And really, that's how it's done. This was not as scary as the other campaign mission, which will be the massive Soviet offensive. I'm not looking forward to that one because the map is twice as big. But either way, so just going over this again, you want to use these fast units once you've got zone of control to push through and try to cut them off here. Again, here you want to sort of use these units to sort of stab through. Use your infantry just to hold the northern path there, and where you can here, and then isolate these units off. Make ways to these two hexagons so you can cross over, and then you'll effectively cut off all these units. If you can get a unit up here, you can also do some significant damage to cutting off here, though I don't know how much you can capitalize on because of this river here. When you make your headway through, you basically want to be doing it through this path here and through down here, which is relatively easy to do when you concentrate artillery. Over here, again, punch your way through here, maybe create some pressure here so they have to pull back a unit or two, and then you want to make your way through here. And then just feel like the best tactics, reinforce the units which are going to be have most benefit in the next turn, and don't be afraid to keep really weak units, especially down here, just to keep the enemy suppressed. So there we have it. What more can I say? This is Experience Points. I hope you gained some experience from watching this, and I hope you're able to get your own brilliant victory without prestige, which is, you can't even use prestige on this level, so you're automatically going to get that one. So cheers mate, and have a good one.